Hey Frontline fans, welcome back to Comic Frontline and fans. You're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the long-awaited Spider-Woman Alpha issue number 1. That's right, guys. This is the first book where all the female Spider-Women have actually teamed up in their own series. This book is actually written by Robbie Thompson, and the artwork is done by Vanessa Del Rey. Unfortunately for me, when it comes to the artwork in this Alpha book, it's a miss for me. It's not my style of artwork. The artwork for me seems to be very muddy. The characters almost all look the same. Their faces look disproportionate. The attention to detail lacks, especially in the backgrounds where, you know, things just look shaded. The title feels very dark. We go into Jessica's apartment in here, and at times I couldn't even tell this was an apartment. And I feel like the girls all look exactly the same. I mean, I don't know. Yes, maybe because they're all from their different universes or whatever. I don't know. Silk is not from a different universe. They're all different people. But their facial expressions and their faces all look exactly the same, except one maybe has a little bit longer hair or different color hair. So I totally dislike the artwork in this issue. I just was not a fan of it whatsoever. So what did I think about the story? Now, I read Spider-Woman, and I read a little bit of Silk, and I don't read Spider-Gwen at the moment, but I will be reading it again. But I totally know what's going on in those series because I have read quite a few issues. So in this book, we wind up seeing Spider-Gwen. She has her little transporter that she acquired from Spider-Verse where she can travel from different Earths. And what happens is she winds up meeting up with Cindy Moon in the issue. And they wind up having to go out with on a brunch, a date out in the town with all the girls, a time off. And we went into Jessica Drew, where she meets up with all the girls. But, of course, she's waiting for the babysitter. And, you know, she's making it this big deal that her baby is, you know, very hard to take care of and things like that. And like, I kind of get that, but we already saw that in the Spider-Woman series, and that was already kind of resolved a little bit, and she just made it like it was such a hassle for her. You know, not like in the Spider-Woman book where it felt organic. This kind of felt like a little forced. It was like, I'm having a tough time with the baby, and the baby's not clothed, and just all this crazy stuff, and she's waiting for Roger, and this is stuff that we already saw, you know. And so she winds up leaving the baby behind, and they go to Earth 65, a place that is different. And they go to Clown Town and whatnot. So you get to see all these things that they do together, and it kind of catches you up a little bit of what's been going on in their past, like what happened with Cindy and what happens with Gwen Stacy, and then obviously with Jessica. And what happens is you get to see this mysterious like spider figure that's been looking over them, and it's this character right here, and I don't know, he looks like he's wearing some sweater. And so what happens is they're like, oh, she's in contact. And so they send this Adaptoid, which is probably the least detailed robot that I've ever seen in a comic before, do this battle against our spider female heroes. And of course, they wind up succeeding in beating the Adaptoid, but it was all a distraction. So this character can take the transporter from Gwen's bag. And by the time we wind up getting to the end of this book, we wind up seeing that the transporter is gone. We see Jessica can't get back to her baby. And we wind up seeing who the main boss is or the villain is behind this actual book. And just to let you know that this is a spoiler, so if you guys don't want to see it, here we go. And it is Cindy Moon herself, and it's just a different version of her. So I was kind of like, okay. I wasn't like surprised, or I wasn't like, you know. And so that was the end of the issue. So I was very underwhelmed by this. I expected something a lot more. First of all, when I read Spider books, I expect a lot of detail in the artwork. And being that you have these three female Spider characters together, I expected a much more intriguing first issue. All you really got out of this was the reveal that Cindy Moon was the villain at the end. And it was just totally underwhelming. It doesn't make the reader want to go and read the rest of the story. So we have a future Cindy Moon in Earth 616. Big deal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure where it's going to go. Obviously, I'm going to read it to see how the story further develops. But if it doesn't develop, I might skip Spider-Woman altogether until this story arc is over. So we'll see where it goes. I gotta give it a further chance. I should have expected whenever you have a Spider book and the name Alpha on it, it's not going to be good. Going back to Amazing Spider-Man days with Alpha, but I wasn't a fan of this whatsoever. Very underwhelming. So far, my worst pick of the week by far. I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. So guys, in the comments below, tell me what you thought of Spider-Woman issue number 1 or Alpha 1. And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline, and from me and all of the Frontline members, this is Mike Spider saying thank you, and I'll see you in the next review. Take care, fans.